I'm Josephine Battaglini. Everyone knows me as Jo. My mother is an Aboriginal woman from the Charters Towers area. I'm the oldest of 9 children. I've worked predominantly in the area of Aboriginal emotional social wellbeing and mental health. I have the capacity and I have the absolute commitment to provide whatever I can, personally, professionally, in care to Aboriginal people. Probably most Aboriginal women have experienced bouts of depression somewhere along in their lives, and also there'd be a large number of women who've experienced long-term depression. Most women, when they go to a clinic or do turn up at counselling, they're at that point where they actually are wanting help, and and it will come out in tears. It can come out in anger, like, for example, they might say, well, what fucking hell can you do to help me? You're just like all the other fucking people in this town, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to work with that anger and try to genuinely show an understanding and want to understand where they're coming from. They tend to talk a lot about headaches, suffering with headaches. So, there would be a lot of tension and stress happening there. And the risk is, with the headaches, is the self-medicating type of behaviour to try and cut out the pain of the headaches. You will see women presenting with high addictive behaviours, such as gambling and drinking and ganja use, marijuana smoking. You have to do that risk assessment of how serious is it, where are they at. If you are able to assess that a woman has started self-harming, you might actually see that on their arms, that they're starting to self-mutilate. You also may be seeing that they're actually doing doctor shopping, such as looking for medications at different doctors. So that increases the risk of urgency to intervene more quickly. You have to trust your gut, and as well as take that risk in making that assessment that this person needs more serious intervention. You need to show them, I'm hanging in there whether you like it or not. And they might tell you to F off, or no, I'm okay. And that's often quite a common presenting sign of this person setting themselves up to be very isolated. The other group of vulnerable Aboriginal women is around pregnancy, but and particularly when the pregnancy hasn't come from love. And I'm talking about young women, could be age 13, because sexual abuse and rape, and also young women seeking love in the wrong places, and the result being that a baby is born into a situation where not necessarily there's going to be good resources and a lot of love, as well as also there is the issue of generational poor parenting occurring. And so for young women, they're incredibly at risk of attachment disorder with the baby. And so with attachment disorder, there is risk of neglects, as well as the long-term effects of, for that child, it sets them up for behavioural and personality problems, and a high likelihood of depression too. I really want to stress the importance for whatever position you hold and whatever race you are as a person, that to engage people who are suffering with depression, that you do have to have a commitment and passion and a belief that people are deserving of life and a happy life. And that has to come out in your actions. You have to be a doer. You also, in how you talk, it is respectful, and that it is genuine. In most situations when women are presenting with depression, it's really important to draw on those natural supports in place. So what family exists, and really push for that. And even if it is that you may need to ring someone to let them know, and you do get their permission, but it does, again, you need to be persistent and really confident about, no, this is to make sure you are right, And it might be that you say it in such a way, sister, you don't have to be on your own. When you've got the woman's permission to call family, and you do it in front of them, because it's about everything is out in the open. She might have nominated her sister to call, so you call the sister and say that Mary's presented at the clinic and she's clearly depressed. I wouldn't beat around the bush, but she really needs those who care for her most to be with her at this time. You do have to come up with a contract or plan or ensure there's follow-up, because I think you just can't afford to take that risk to let them go off and do further harm to themselves. So, trying to ensure that there is, there's the networks, as well as that there is a definite follow-up, that they can't get out of it, that you want to see them the next day or they're going to see someone else. We really need to make sure that the doctor is involved and is there to monitor and support. And also you need to be upfront that there may be a need for medication, especially when it's at that acute level and high risk of suicide, that medication is needed to help to overcome how the brain is functioning at that time. The reality is that the possibility of every second Aboriginal person walking through that door is going to be suffering with depression or at risk. And so you as an individual, as a health worker or caregiver, and the fact that you choose to do this and you are working with the most disadvantaged group, is that you are in there for the long haul, and the reward will be that person has managed to come out of depression, and even greater, that they are choosing life over death.